Did you know the #1 beer fest in North America takes place right outside of Houston in Katy? Yep, the popular Wild West Brew Fest is happening March 27th through the 29th, and it's bigger than ever. They're going to have over 100 vendors and brewers, so your hands are going to be full with amazing beer and wines all weekend long. And the best part, the festival supports charitable organizations with their net proceeds, so you're doing some good while enjoying some brews. Tickets are on sale right now at wildwestbrewfest.com. That's wildwestbrewfest.com. The Imprint Margaret Root Brown Reading Series is proud to announce a night with two renowned poets, Jennifer Chang, who won the William Carlos Williams Award, and Naomi Shihab Nye, National Book Award finalist and former U.S. Young People's Poet Laureate. Hear them both live on March 3rd at the Alley Theater. Tickets are only $5 and free for students and seniors. There's also going to be a book sale thanks to Brazos Bookstore and a book signing where you can meet the authors. Visit imprint.org for more details. That's imprint.org. Before we get to today's episode, I want to give a shout out to our Rodeo Week sponsor, DestinationBryan.com. Looking to plan a girls' weekend, a family trip, or just passing through the Brazos Valley, you gotta stop in Bryan, Texas. It has it all. Don't believe me? Go to DestinationBryan.com and plan your trip right now and see why Bryan is the perfect weekend getaway for Houstonians. And stay tuned because at the end of today's episode, I have a delicious rodeo tip. Today on CityCast Houston, some people head to the rodeo for the epic concerts and world-class rodeo competition, and others, like me, just want to try the wildest foods. It's Wednesday, February 26th. I'm Raheel Ramzanali, and here's what Houston's talking about. All right, I've got the Midway Gourmet, Dominic Palimieri, one of my dear friends with me here today. He's the man behind all the food stalls and rides at the rodeo that you see on the Midway. Dom, you have so many new wild foods debuting this year at the rodeo. I need to know, what's the wildest one we need to try this year, and where is it on the Midway?
So I would say probably the wild one's going to be the Mike's Hot Honey Corndog, and that's going to be at Biggy's. And when I say that, I want you to think of a biscuit and honey, but wrapped around a gourmet pecan smoked sausage on a stick and then deep fried.
Whoa.
And I'm going to tell you, it is so good. It's like that comfort food. But here's the deal, we try and stay ahead of the curve on food trends because we want to be setting them and making them versus us following them. And Mike's was one of the hottest new segments of growth in food service last year, 2024,
wow.
and moving into 2025. So as I was looking at it, I'm saying, well, how could we incorporate this into one of our wild, wacky foods that could be traditional that everybody's familiar with and then create something new out of it, right? And so that's how he came up with the Mike's Hot Honey Corn Dog. When you bite into it, it is so good. So it's spicy, it's sweet, but then you have that really nice pecan smoked sausage. It's got the snap of that dog in there and that sausage, and it's meaty, and it's just, gosh, it's just so good that when you take a bite, you just can't stop eating it. And by the way, don't try and share it, because if you share it with somebody, they're not going to give it back to you.
Wow. So Mike's hot honey in general is still popular, right? Because it was one of the hot things during the pandemic. I remember everyone was trying to get a bottle, and it has become a staple, I feel like, in our cuisine. But it's still popular at the fair, where you've got like a whole menu, it sounds like, of Mike's hot honey.
Yes, we do. And we have several items that are, on that hot honey thing. Like, I'm going to tell you that the hot honey turkey leg will totally change the dynamics of turkey legs. Look, turkey legs are the #1 seller out here at the rodeo.
Okay.
In the order, it's turkey leg, corn dog, funnel cakes, and then everything else, right? So when you talk about putting Mike's Hot Honey on a corn dog or putting Mike's Hot Honey on a turkey leg, when you bite into that turkey leg and you get that honey sensation, but you get a little bit of the spice, it just all comes together, and it's just delicious.
So it's
good.
Glazed with hot honey? Is that that's what it sounds like? Or is it like infused?
No. We actually put it on the turkey leg. So when you bite into it, you got hot honey all the way around the turkey leg.
Oh, I'm so glad you did that, because I like a good turkey leg. But I think the problem with the turkey leg is that after the first few bites, it gets kind of like, all right, it's a turkey. Like this sounds like I'm going to finish the whole thing finally.
Exactly. And so we put enough of it on there. So you keep just dipping the turkey leg in the hot honey. And it's just so good that it lends a whole new component to
Mm.
deliciousness that will change everybody's idea of what they ever thought a turkey leg was and now what it can be.
One of the cool things for you is that you are working year round, at fairs, at rodeos, carnivals, all these great places, and you get to try out new recipes. You get to try out new wild foods that will eventually show up here at the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo. But there's been some items that haven't worked. What's the wildest food item you created that just didn't pop with the crowd?
Um, Gosh, I that's hard to say. We work really hard to innovate things that we know will do well in the different markets that we serve. Of course, coming to Houston, a lot of the stuff is barbecue centric and sweets. Y'all in Texas love your sweets.
We do. We do. And we have a whole segment, by the way, on sweets coming up. So don't worry. For those of you who are
Yeah.
listening, I'm a sweet fiend. I've got a big one coming up for y'all. But yeah, like what didn't work?
Deep fried red velvet cake. So I'm going to tell you, was really, really good. Looked amazing. It only stayed on the menu about like 2 years. And then we realized, I don't know why they're not buying it, but it was so good because it had the red velvet cake
Mm.
with that yummy, like ice cream, icing filling in between, the layers when you see a traditional, red velvet cake. And that made it so good. That component was so yummy because it was kind of like the deep fried Oreo. But for some reason down here, it just didn't catch on. And so they sell it in California and it went for about 4 or 5 years and then they decided to pull it. So,
Oh,
sometimes some things just have a lifespan, right?
yeah.
And so, we want to make sure that we always bring something that's going to have longer life that people will come back year after year to enjoy. Because why? When we come to a rodeo, we set traditions with food. Right? I don't care where you are, what ethnicity you are, what part of the world you come from, we all gather around food.
Yeah.
And so those traditions that we create around food are really important. Same thing here at a rodeo or a fair, right?
Okay. I promise we're going to talk about sweets, and this is going to be a lot. Okay. So
Yeah.
everyone get your notepads out. We've got everything linked in our show notes as well. I'm going to put all the items we talk about in the sweets category. Let's start it off. I know you've got a big list. So give me
Yep.
your top ones we have to try this year
Yeah.
when it comes to desserts, sweet eats at the rodeo.
So we have two fried affair stands and they're very, very American, red, white, and blue. You can't miss them. The first one is the ice cream nachos. These are actually the waffle cones. The favorite waffle cone that everybody loves? Imagine that broken up into big pieces that looks like tortilla chips.
Mm.
So it's a big pile of waffle cone chips, then topped with ice cream, chocolate sauce, all the things that you would find, right, for a sundae, but are on top of the waffle cone chips. So you get to pick up the chips and eat it just as if it were nachos.
Whoa.
Yeah, that one's
Okay,
super
that
fun.
sounds good.
Yep. At Totally Baked Cookie Joint, this is the Cowboy Cookie Crumble. I want you to imagine two big scoops of ice cream smothered an oatmeal cookie crumble. So they have the oatmeal cookies, they crumble it all up, they put it all over the top of it, and they top it with caramel sauce and a little bit of chocolate sauce. That one is super, super, super delicious. And it's new because, right, when you think about a cowboy cookie crumble, it's themed for rodeo, but it has all of the
Oh
oatmeal
man.
cookie all over it. Oh yeah.
I think an oatmeal cookie is so underrated. I know I sound old here, but like that seems like an oatmeal cookies for old people, but it is so good. It just has more texture. I think just that brown butter also hits a little bit different in an oatmeal cookie. Let me ask you, one of the key ingredients in cookies is obviously eggs, right? And
Yes.
there's a egg shortage going on right now. Are y'all feeling that at all?
Yeah, and we opted not to raise prices
Hmm.
this year because we know that pricing is super sensitive to everybody, and there's a lot of customers that are on a budget to come out here. So we try and provide the best value always that we possibly can, and it hurts because eggs is a big ingredient inside the cookies, and I'm going to tell you that it will cost them several $1,000s more for this entire event in eggs, but we're absorbing it on our side. And that's hard to do when you're running a business, right?
Yeah.
But we understand that customers are want to try these things and they're on a budget. And we just want to make this fun and affordable for everyone.
I love that. That's one of the great things, right? You go to the rodeo, you know you're going to spend a lot of money, but if we can keep that price down just a little bit to help families out, I appreciate that because we spend a lot of money again at the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo. Okay, couple more desserts.
Are you ready for the showstopper? I got one more big dessert.
Okay, give me the showstopper.
This is very simple. The chocolate strawberry cup. It's that simple.
Whoa.
It's that easy. So this was the absolute craze in Europe. And it started in 23. It went crazy in 24. We are one of the first ones to bring it here at any of the big special events. It's going to be here at the rodeo. And I want you to think of a big tall cup filled with sweet, juicy strawberries and topped with a Belgium style. It's a mix of a dark and a milk chocolate, chocolate that goes on top. Now, remember, this chocolate stays for the most part warm and it stays soft. It doesn't harden like a tempered chocolate, like a traditional chocolate strawberry, dipped strawberry, right? Because when you bite into a regular chocolate dipped strawberry, the chocolate breaks apart. You get a couple pieces here and there.
Yeah, it's not good.
This one, when you bite into it, it's in between your teeth. It's in every zone of every area of all the taste buds of your mouth. It is so good. The strawberries are in season right now. The strawberries are beautiful. They're sweet. And the equipment is beautiful. Comes from Italy. It's a giant fountain. And I want you to just imagine a constant stream of pouring chocolate that never ends. And we have all these cups of strawberries that are filled. We just keep topping them with more chocolate and passing them out and passing them out. So when you get it, the chocolate's hot and it's all melty and gooey and it's on the strawberry and you just start eating right away. That's going to be at the Candy Factory right in front of the mutton busting tent. And that's one of the most popular places in the middle Kidland here on the RCS Carnival.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so you're telling me at the rodeo this year, instead of us having to travel to London, where the viral strawberry cup has just still taken a hold of the culinary scene there, you're just going to bring it here. So we don't have to travel to London. We just have to travel to the rodeo. That's it.
That's it.
You get a taste of this and you're using pretty much the same equipment. So it's going to be just like that.
It's going to be better. And I'm going to tell you why. Just because the strawberries right now are in season and they're just so good.
Mark your calendars, invite your friends, and of course, put on your dancing boots for the second annual Big Barn Dance Music Festival in Bryan, Texas. This weekend music festival is going to feature some of the best songwriters and pickers in country, bluegrass, and Americana music. It's happening March 27 to the 29th, and it's all an easy drive from Houston, just an hour and change. The festival starts with the Big Barn Dance Songwriter Series in downtown Bryan. Then you can head to the main festival grounds at Travis Midtown Park for a seated listening experience. And hey, if you like dancing at music festivals like I do, they'll have a big dance floor to put those boots to use. And check this out, on Saturday, the entire festival grounds will turn into a dance hall so you can two-step the night away under the open Texas sky. Learn more and get your tickets now at destinationbryan.com. That's destinationbryan.com. Have you ever seen a podcast host race in a camel race? No? Well, you will see it on March 7th because you can come watch me ride a camel at the Sam Houston Race Park on Friday, March 7th for their annual camel race. Yes, you heard that right. I'll be racing on a camel, so come cheer me on. It's at Sam Houston Race Park. They're going to have camel and ostrich races on March 7th and 8th, but they also have exciting thoroughbred racing action every weekend, so you can get in on the fun. If that's not enough, every weekend Sam Houston Race Park has live music, drink specials, amazing food, and one of the best Sunday brunches around. Sundays in March are definitely family fun days, so your entire squad will have a great time. Looking for some plans this Saturday, March 1st? Save on admission, food, and more with their popular Dollar Night. Race in for all the excitement because there's always something happening at Sam Houston Race Park. Check out shrp.com for more details. There is a lot to try at the rodeo this year, and this is going to be tough, but you're the man for the job, okay? Put together the perfect plate of food or a perfect combination that we can all go graze and eat together. What are we doing? Give me an appetizer, entree, dessert, and a drink.
Okay, you want to go over to Bacon Affair and maybe go get yourself a pork belly bite. These are pork belly bites wrapped in bacon. And then, they got a nice little char on them, and there's a nice little boat. It's got a bunch of those on there. You maybe start with a little bit of barbecue. You want to go over and you want to get yourself a hot honey turkey leg for sure,
You got to do that.
or the hot honey pickles. I'm going to tell you, the hot honey pickles will change your
Wait,
life.
what are the hot honey pickles? What are you holding out on me?
I know I had to do that because I couldn't give it to you all at the beginning, right? It was funny. I was working with the Mike's Hot Honey team, and it was funny because we told them about the pickles, and there was this pause on the phone, right? I'm like, you got to just try to see how it is. And it's so good because this is a lightly brined dill pickle that then has hot melted cheddar cheese on it, and then it has the Mike's Hot Honey. And when you
Yeah.
bite into that, the acid along with the spiciness and the sweetness, it just works so good. By the way, very shareable. All these things are very shareable. When you think about, coming to the rodeo, I always say, put on your stretchy pants and just come to the rodeo and come grazing and just
Yep.
try everything. You're with the family. Just keep on coming down the line and try everything. So I would say you want to try that. We also have the bacon wrapped pork belly on a stick. And I say this little piggy fell in the pot of hot honey. That pork belly
Oh
that
my
comes out of
gosh.
that smoker oven wrapped in bacon that goes on the charred grill and gets a little char and then gets finished with Mike's Hot Honey when you bite into it. The
Whoa.
flavor explosion is just incredible. It might be one of the best barbecue items at the entire rodeo. You have to
Okay.
pay for yourself. I want you to go down and look at, post online when you come down, try it, try them all. But when you're done, come try the best on the RCS Carnival Midway, because we're working really hard to bring the A game. And I'm going to say the barbecue is great. The brisket, the pork, the shredded pork sandwich. I mean, everything that we
There's so
have here
much.
is so legit and done so well. And the care that goes into making all of these items are just really, really authentic Texas for sure.
Before you give me your dessert to round out this plate, I'm glad you brought up all the other items, the traditional items that are there. And, our dear friend Ken Hoffman, who passed away last year, we would go on a food tour together and we would try all the wildest foods. But the one thing that Hoffy would look forward to every year was just the simple cheeseburger because of that smoke, because of that
Yep.
taste that you get at the rodeo. And like that has become my Hoffy staple. Like, you got to get a cheeseburger at the rodeo. I know it makes no sense, but hey, the basics still work.
Absolutely. And by the way, all those burgers were cooking over a lump mesquite charcoal grill. So
Yeah.
that's why you get that flavor that you don't normally get just either cooking on gas or, baking them in an oven, because
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of different ways to do it. I think we do it well, but it was funny because we have all these great condiments to go with. He's like, nope, I just want the cheeseburger on that buttery toasted brioche bun and give it to me just like that. And he would mow the whole thing down. Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
That was the only item he would finish. Okay, dessert
Yeah.
and a drink to
Yep.
round out our perfect plate now.
I'm going to say you got to try the ice cream nachos or the Cowboy cookie crumble. I mean, we talked about it, but I'm going to say
Yeah,
that those two things you're going to want to try on the dessert side for sure.
sure.
But don't forget the staple of the deep fried Oreo, right? I mean, Oreos are one of those things,
Yes,
right?
but Dominic, you turned me to the deep fried butter, and I think that's better than the Oreo. And,
It is.
it's not better than the fried cheesecake because that's my ultimate, like, all-time deep fried item. But that deep fried butter, people always give me the funniest look when I try explaining to them, and you did it best. What is the deep fried butter? Tell them.
So I want you to think of that Sunday brunch where you're at the waffle station and the chef has the big giant tall white hat on, like the guy looks legit. And you got that thick, crispy Belgian waffle, and you put the butter on it and all the nooks and crannies fill with the butter. And then you pour the syrup on it, and you got all that component of syrup and butter with the crispy waffle. And then you turn it inside out. That is deep fried butter.
My mouth is watering. I need
Oh
that.
yeah.
I
That's
need
deep fried
four. I
butter.
need 4 orders of that, okay, ASAP, because I can't stop eating it. Okay, perfect drink to top this
Yeah.
all off. Something to
Yep.
sip while we're
Drinks.
walking around eating.
Yep. So this is what's great about the drinks. Cause listen, when you're going around, you're walking around the line, you want to stay hydrated, right? So of course you're drinking water, drinking all kinds of stuff, but we have these amazing Michelaguas. It's those fresh, the Mexican drinks. There's pepino, there's the sandia, there's the mango. All of these are the fresh aguas, right?
Hmm.
But these are just spectacularly delicious. And you'll see there's 2 stands that says three of them that say Michelaguas. They come in the big barrel cup. They're
Oh,
fresh. They got chamoy and the Tahiti chili on them as well. We have squeezers lemonade that are absolutely delicious. You got to get a traditional lemonade. It's our 32nd year with squeezers here at the rodeo. And then, of course, at Cowboy Kettle Corn, we've got the dirty sodas. Now, we debuted these last year. The dirty sodas exploded last year, and there's the Cowboy Cooler, which is a cherry cola, lime, and vanilla. The coconut Cowboy, which is Dr. Pepper, coconut, and lime soda. And then the Dolphin Breeze, which is a coconut, a blue raspberry, and then it's topped with
Oh, wow.
little gummy shark candies on top of it. Super fun. These are really like craft sodas, right? You know, they've created this new
Yeah.
different thing and got all these different components of flavors, and it's a flavor explosion, you know, in your mouth. I'm going to say that there's so many different things for you to try when you come to the RCS Carnival Midway, when you're here at the rodeo, that you could spend 2 days literally going around and
Yeah.
grazing, right? So a lot of people come multiple times. And look, when you come, try a couple things, share it with your family. We've tried to make them affordable so you can come back 2 or 3 times. But the experience of what you're going to get when you're here on the Midway is you never find this anywhere
Yeah.
else. And to see the show that goes along with it, just the whole experience of the sight, the sounds, the smell, the taste, it's everything that rodeo should be. And this is what we look forward to every year.
Yeah, and a lot of these stalls are on the Midway, so they're next to the rides. You'll see them, but we haven't even talked about like the whole white tent area where there's local restaurants. Trill Town is debuting this year. The rodeo has like turned into a culinary event.
Absolutely. So that's why I say, you know, they brought the best of the best, some of the locals. A lot of them come from other parts of the country as well. These are some of the top concessionaires
Mm.
in the country that are bringing the AAA plus game. With everything that you can imagine, from the mini apple pie guy to Trill Burger to all the different Cajun places. Of course, you got your locals, the Saltgrass, all those guys are here, and a lot of them have created traditions. Right, people want to go grab a sandwich or do
Yeah.
something. The funnel cakes are off the chain delicious, like there's no tomorrow. The peaches and cream funnel cake, the strawberries. I mean, all these different things that you can get that you only can get when you come to the rodeo. This is where the best eating is. And I say, come to the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo. Let's eat, baby.
Let's eat. And before we eat, I do want to get a new ride from you, okay? Because you are, again, you're putting out the rides as well. So the big Ferris wheel, the roller coasters, the kid rides. You are doing this as well with RCS, Ray Kamek shows. And I need to know, before we start eating, what's a new ride that we need to check out?
Sure. So there's a couple new rides, but the two that I think are going to be just out of control and going to be so popular is the Heidi Coaster, which is a brand new roller coaster. It's a spinning coaster, so the actual train, the tub, actually spins while you're
What?
on the roller coaster. Oh yeah, this is a roller coaster that actually spins at the same time. And then there's a new ride called the Hip Hop. There's a couple other ones. You know, I'm the food guy, Raheel. You know, I'm not the ride guy, but
Yeah.
those two, I'm so excited to get on and ride them. And I know they're going to be super popular. The lines are going to be long. This is what I tell everybody. Come to the rodeo early.
That was Dominic Palimieri, aka the Midway Gourmet. I've dropped his Instagram link in our show notes so you can keep up with his wild food creations. Now, I know your mouth is watering, so send this episode to 3 friends so you can put together a foodie group to experience all of the great food at the rodeo together. And don't forget to take pictures and tag us on Instagram at CityCastHouston. Also, please subscribe to the podcast if you haven't and drop us a rating and review wherever you listen. Thanks. Before we go, after you experience all of that great food at the rodeo, I know you'll want more, especially some good old-fashioned Texas barbecue. So today's rodeo tip is that you need to plan a barbecue tour in Bryan, Texas. I've dropped a link in our show notes with the 9 must-visit spots to plan a Brazos Valley barbecue tour. Definitely check that out and learn more at destinationbryan.com. That will do it for today. I'm Raheel Ramzanali. Thank you for listening, and I hope you learned something new. All the traditional wild foods are back, right? Like that hot Cheeto pickle pizza.
Oh, yeah. We brought, as a matter of fact, I just did a post the other day, and it was so funny because I said, so I had a picture of the hot Cheeto cheese pickle pizza. I said, is that a pickle on your pizza, or are you just glad to see me?